जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is Sunday. It is 26th of January, and today it is the Magha Masa or Madhava Masa, Krishna Paksham, and Dwadasi Tithi. So today, breakfast time between 7:47 and 10:44. Okay, so that is the only event. So it is a Dwadasi Parayana time. Whoever is fasting from Ekadasi, even from the water, they can break by taking sip of water and then further usual prasadam. So again, if someone is already taken water, they can take fruits. If someone has already taken fruits, they can take some kind of the grain prasadam like that. Okay, so that is from the event's perspective. We shall quickly move into our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. The Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami describing the Virat Rupa form and all different limbs of the Virat Rupa form. And so we also, all the human beings, their bodies also, similarly, it is inherited, kind of a prototypes of the Virat Rupa. So yesterday he was mentioning about the, so he's all Jnanendriyas and also the preceding deities and corresponding sense objectives, they were all generated. And after that, Karnendriyas, the hands and then legs, and then he also spoke about the genital. Nirbijyata Sisnovai Prajan Prajanandamritadhinah Upastha Asit Kamanam Priyam Tad Ubayashriyam. So for the sense pleasure, for the sexual pleasure, he also got the genital, which is also for creation of the progeny. So the genital and then the preceding that one is the Prajapati. Prajapati also got generated, and it is for the purpose of the pleasure, the heavenly pleasure that the materialistic people they experience, and also to beget the children. They all got generated from the Virata Rupa. And then further today, Sukadeva Goswami is describing about the Yavak, this the rectum, and also the stool which is being evacuated from the uh, that rectum, evacuation hole. And then after that, when the living entity, he decided to move from different kinds, one body to another body for his sense pleasures. Then, so this abdomen also got generated. Abdomen and also the Mrityu got generated. Okay, so likewise, Sukadeva Goswami is saying to Parikshit Maharaj. And also he was also mentioning about the for the sustenance and also for the sustenance and maintenance. He there is also the stomach, intestines, and also different kinds of the nadis. They are also got generated. Okay, so likewise we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 10, verse number 27. 27, 28, and 29. कुसृक्षोः धातुमलं निर्विद्यत वैगुदं ततः पायुः ततो मित्र मुत्सर्ग उभयाश्रयः. Usrikshoho dhatu malam. Usrikshoho. So he is desiring to evacuate. So previously when the mouth was generated, because when he desired to eat or when desired to drink, because of the kshutrut and hunger and thirst. The first was generated hunger and thirst. And later on the mouth, whenever he desired to eat and drink. Now, Usrikshoho dhatu malam. Now desiring, once we eat it, there should be a processing. Again, the tummy and there is a metabolism. Food needs to be digested and distribute the energy and then waste parts. So at the time waste part is there, it must be evacuated from the body. So Vustrikshoho, so desiring to evacuate. At the time Dhatumalam and also refuse of the eatables. Dhatumalam. Vustrikshoho Dhatumalam. Nirbhyatata, it became open. Nirbhyata, Vaigudam, certainly the evacuating hole that got manifested, hole got manifested. So the body has got, it is called Navadvarapuri. It has got 9 holes within the body. So this uh, Linga Chidrodbhavihi, Tribihi, and the third month, all these holes get generated. That one, second and third months, all these are all like the nails and bones and the holes of the body will be generated. This is Nirbhyajyatavai Gudam. Gudam is one of the hole of the body out of the 9 holes. Usrikshoho dhatumalam niribhyatavai gudam. Tatah payuhu tato mitra and payuhu. So now hole is there and thereafter payuhu, the evacuating sense organ. And also sense organ also it got manifested. Tatah payuhu tato mitra. Mitra is also, Mitra is the deity for the evacuating hole. And we have got Maitreya Rishi. So he was sometimes, he is also son of the Mitra. So just maybe possibly that this is the one thing I am just contemplating. Tato Mitraha. And also uh, this Varuna and Mitra. So they have both begot a children who are the Vasistha and Agastya Rishi. So there are also children of Vasistha and Mitra combinedly. They both begot in Apsarasa. They both got the Virya, Virya Skalanam happened. And that Virya was put up into the pots, and then Vasistha and uh, Mitra, they both were, sorry, Vasistha and Agastya Muni, they both were born out of that Virya from the pots. Of course, Vasistha is the son of Brahma in the previously and left because of there are few reasons, and then he quit the body, again he took another form, so became a son of Varuna. Okay, so here that is that Mitra is the deity of the evacuating hole. Tato payuhu tato Mitra. Vutsargha ubhayashriyaha. Vutsargha. Vutsargha is the substance evacuated is a stool. That stool got also generated. Ubhayashriyaha. Ubhaya both and ashriyaha the shelter. So here whatever happening, so one is the evacuating hole and the evacuating sense organ and the Mitra controlling deity and also the substance that is the stool all got manifested. Ubhayashriyaha. Musrikshoho dhatumalam nirbhyajyata vaigudam tatah payuho tato mitra utsargha ubhayashriyaha. So here thereafter, when he desired to evacuate the refuse of eatables, the evacuating hole, anus, and the sensory organ thereof developed, along with the controlling deity Mitra. The sensory organ and the evacuating substance are both under the shelter of the controlling deity. And purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Even in the matter of evacuating stool, the refuse is controlled. So how can the living entity claim to be independent? Again, so living entity is not independent at any point of time. Okay, so that is that verse. And then for the next verse, Sukadeva Goswami is saying that uh, and he wanted to move from the different bodies. So each body is having one particular sense. For example, monkey is having more of inclined to the sex, and the donkey, it is more inclined towards work, more and more work. And for example, if you take a vulture, it has a more powerful sense of sight. It can see hundreds of miles very clearly. So likewise, each and every living entity has got a particular. So whenever this living entity desiring to enjoy more, he will move into different bodies. So for that purpose, so this abdomen hole also got generated. So once he goes into the body, he must also come out of the body as well to move to the another body. So at that time, this abdomen, it is also got generated. And also mrityu, moving of the from one body, it is called mrityu. Change of body is called mrityu. So they both got generated, abdomen and mrityu. So likewise, he is saying in the 28th verse. आतित्सोः पुरः पुर्य नाभिद्वारम् अपानतः तत्र अपानः ततो मृत्युः पृथक्त्वम् उभयाश्रयम् आसिरिप्सोः पुरः पुर्य. So desiring to go everywhere. Puraha in the bodies. Puryaha from one body. Nabidwaram apanataha. Nabidwaram is the navel or abdominal hole. Apanataha, it was manifested. Tatrapanaha tato mrityuhu. Thereupon, stopping of the vital force. So here this body must be, the functioning of the body must be stopped, and he has to go out of this body from one of the holes of the Navadvara. So here for the first thing is the abdominal hole. So including of apart from 9 holes of the body, abdominal hole, it is also called 10th hole, but that is the primary thing. This is where the abdomen, the mother and baby in the womb, they both are connected to that the pipe. That is how the child is nourished. Similarly, from the navel of Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, Brahma also got manifested. Tatrapanahat tato mrityuhu. Okay, and then further, Prudakvam Ubhyashriyam. Prudakvam Ubhyashriyam. Prudakvam. So here it is separately Ubhaya Ashriyam. So likewise, Sukadeva Goswami is describing here. So one is the Nabidvaram, that is abdominal hole, and then Tatrapanahat tato mrityuhu, stopping out the vital force, and thereafter the death is change of the body. So translation for this verse. Thereafter, when he desired to move from one body to another, the navel and the air of departure and death were combinedly created. The navel is the shelter for both, namely death and separating force. And purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so can I request Prabhavati Mataji to read the purport, please, if available?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I'll try. I'm reading on the mobile.
Yeah, sure.
Purport by Divan Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Pranavayu continues the life and the Apanavayu stops the living force. Both the vibrations are generated from the abdominal hole, the navel. This navel is the joint from one body to another, one body to other. Lord Brahma was born of the abdominal hole of Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu as a separate body, and the same principle is followed even in the birth of any ordinary body. The body of the child develops from the body of the mother, and when the child is separated from the body of the mother, it is separated by cutting the navel joint. And that is the way the Supreme Lord manifested himself as separated many. The living entities are therefore separated parts and thus they have no independence. Hare Krishna Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. So here this is again Prabhupada is describing the pranavayu and apanavayu. In the body, there are pranapana. So these are all 5 A's are there. Prana, apana, Udana, Vyana, Apana. So these are the 5 airs. So each air has got a different function. So here Apana wise it stops the living force. Samana is the balance all the airs within the body. Prana is the life force. And likewise Udana, and one goes down, and one another vayu goes like upwards. So likewise different these are all also explained as part of a Puranjana story. Narada explains to Puranjana story to, I think, Prachina Barhi. Okay, so like a five-hooded serpent which is guarding a beautiful woman, and that person who is wandering throughout the world, he took one kind of he came upon that a nice beautiful city in the region of the Himalaya mountains. So likewise, there is a Puranjana and Puranjini. So there it is, 5 airs are described as the five-hooded serpent, which is guarding that Puranjani. Okay, so these are the 5 kinds of airs, and both vibrations are generated from abdominal hole. This pranavayu and apanavayu. This novel is joined from one body to the other. So this again, uh, everyone, it is our real experience. It doesn't need separate explanation as well. It is the joint from it receives the life energy from the mother to the baby. So Lord Brahma was also born of the abdominal hole of Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu as a separate body. So that's why we are all children of the Supreme Lord. So if we just take, I'm the son of my parents, they are all children of their parents and parents, going back and then tracing back. Finally, we go back to Brahma and then Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. So that is Mamaivamsha Jivaloke Jivabhutaha Sanatanaha Manasasthanindriyani Prakrustari Karshati. They're all coming here and trying to experience all kinds of pains and pleasures in each and every body. So same principle is followed even in the birth of any ordinary body. And when the child is also develops from the body of a mother, then he is separated by cutting the navel joint. When as soon as he come out, that navel joint will be cut. And then that is the way of the Supreme Lord manifested himself as separated many living entities come into existence. This is the humans, and if we take some kind of living entities like the birds and the snakes, they lay the eggs, and then legs again, living the body is born out of the leg. They are called living entities. Come from the eggs are called dvija, second born. 2 times are born. One is from the a bird to as egg, that is the first birth, and from egg to again a baby. So there's 2 times born. They are also called a dvija. In our humans, we also have got dvija samskara. First birth and second birth is from the spiritual master initiation or Brahman initiation. This is dvija, second birth. Okay, so but here in case of the human being and also some other living entities, they are only first birth from the mother directly. Okay, so that is about this verse. Asripsoho puraha purya navidbharam apanataha tatrapanaha tato mutyuhu pratakvam ubayashrayam. So abdominal hole and the mrityu, they both got generated. And then further, Sukadeva Goswami also mentioning about the nadis. So these are the nadis or the arteries, intestines and arteries. Intestines in the tummy. So how the food and the once we eat it, it will be digested and it will pass through the intestines and then goes out of the evacuating hole. And as long as it is in the intestines, they will absorb all the energy. Small intestines and the big intestines are there. Okay, so likewise, for them, these rivers and the oceans are the presiding deities. So they are also got manifested for the intestines. The rivers and oceans, they are generated. So in the 29th verse, Adityoho Annapananam Asan Kukshi Antranadayah Nadjah Samudrasha Tayoho Tustihi Pustihi Tadashraye Adityoho Annapananam. And when he desiring to have Annapananam of food and drink, Asan, so there became Kukshi Antra Nadayaha. Kukshi is the abdomen, Antraha, the intestines. Antra is the intestines, and Nadayaha and the arteries. So they are got abdomen, intestines, and the arteries. They both all got generated. Kukshi Antra Nadayaha. Aditsoho Annapananam. Kukshi Antra Nadayaha. Once we eat it, there should be a place in the tummy as well. So that is abdomen to hold for some time until that will be this Antranadayaha. They will be absorbing the energy from it. Antranadayaha. And then Nadyah Samudrasha Tayoho. Nadyah is the rivers. Samudraha, the seas. Cha, and also Tayoho, of both of them, they got generated. And then Tushtihi Pushtihi Tadashraye. Tushtihi is the sustenance and Pushtihi is the metabolism. Tadashraye, and of them, Ashraya, the source, all of them got manifested. Aditsoho Annapananam Asan Kukshi Antrinadayah Nadjah Samudrashatayoho Tushtihi Pushtihi Tadashraye. The translation. When there was a desire to have food and drink, the abdomen and intestines and also the arteries became manifested. The rivers and seas are the source of their sustenance and metabolism. They also got manifested. Okay, purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Can I request Mruda Sachi Mataji to read the purport if Mataji is available? Or Asha Mataji, would you like to read, please?
Hare Krishna. The controlling deities of the intestines are the rivers, and those of the arteries, the seas. Fulfillment of the belly with food and drink is the cause of sustenance, and the metabolism of the food and drink replaces the waste of the bodily energies. Therefore, the body's health is dependent on healthy actions of the intestines and the arteries. The rivers and the seas, being the controlling deities of the two, keep the intestines and the arteries in healthy order.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Srila
jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Mataji. So here, controlling deities of the intestines are the rivers and those of the arteries, the seas. So here, what is the good reflection we see? Many of our sadhus, they are all living next to the rivers. We all know that one. So the purifying rivers like the Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, Narmada, and Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, all these, the pious rivers, they live next to the rivers. But what happens when the rivers are getting polluted? We see nowadays people, they are eating so much of rubbish and then putting in their tummy pizzas, burgers, and so much of rubbish, nonsense things, and eating all the killing the animals, abominable foods. What is happening? That time, so many of diseases coming within the body because so many factories, industries, they are releasing the waste into the rivers. That is happening, and within the body, it is also happening in the similar kind of thing. So it is affecting both of them. We need to keep the environment eco-friendly, as much natural as possible, so that we live properly in a healthy condition. When our liver, some governments are trying to maintain these rivers, keep cleanliness, but industrialists, they are not maintaining them like that, or releasing all the waste into it. And here, so many restaurants releasing the dirty foods and using the same food, same oil, and similar kind of things, and then just pushing into the people. They do not know what they are eating. That is how the intestines get stubbles and the stomach, and so many diseases are born out of it. So here, controlling deities of the intestines are rivers and those of the arteries. Arteries and the arteries, the seas. Fulfillment of the belly with food and drink is the cause of sustenance, and the metabolism of the food and drink replaces waste of the bodily energies. And then thereafter, the bodily health is dependent on healthy actions of the intestines and arteries. So this is the main thing. And when we are in the clean environment, we don't find any kind of diseases. We have chosen to come to a place where all such kind of dirty things are going on and trying to be healthy. How it is possible? It will never ever be possible. When we are everyone given a chance to take a birth in particular place according to their desires. So when they are staying there, that environment will provide them good health and no anxiety, live happily, whatever is Daivalabdhena Santosha Atmavit Charanachanam. Then his life will be going as usual. But when he is choosing moving to different places and keeping himself in the abominable areas in the big cities and towns where there are no natural environment, all will be disturbed. So many diseases. That things will come like a fever, migraines, and weakness. So many things. And then cancer, brain cancer, so many. Once it goes to cancer, hundreds of varieties of cancers are there. So the rivers and seas, being the controlling deities of the two, keep the intestines and arteries in healthy order. So that is the connection between the rivers and seas and our body. That in our body, the intestines and arteries. Okay, likewise, Prabhupada is describing, and Sukadeva Goswami also mentioning here. Aditso Annapananam Asan Kukshi Antranadayaham Nadyah Samudrasha Tayoho Tushtihi Pushtihi Tadashraye. Okay, so that is how he is explaining. That is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Usritso Usrikshoho Dhatumalam Nirbijjata Vaigudam Tataha Payuho Tato Mitra Utsarga Ubayashriyaha. आतिथ्योः पुरः पुर्य नाभिद्वारम् अपानतः तत्रापानः ततो मृत्युः पृथक्त्वम् उभयाश्रयम् आदित्यो अन्नपानानाम् असन् कुक्षि अन्तर्नाडयः नद्यः समुद्राश्रतयोः तुष्टिः पुष्टिः तदाश्रये. See how the different limbs of the Lord getting formed in the Virat Rupa form. Okay, Yavak getting whole, and then sense organ, and then the substance and the controlling deity Mitra. After that, abdomen, and then Mrityu, and then Apanavayu, they got generated. And then further, this Kukshi abdomen got generated, and intestines and arteries, they got generated along with the presiding deities, rivers and oceans. Okay, likewise, Sukadeva Goswami is explaining to us. It is from Srimad Bhagavatam Jai. So we shall move to the Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today it is letter to Vrindavan Chandra, June 24th, 1970, Los Angeles. Can I request Meena Mataji to read this letter, please?
Hare Krishna. My dear Vrindavan Chandra, please accept my blessing. I am in the receipt of your letter dated 18 June 1970. You are doing very nicely. Krishna is giving you intelligence, so remain dependent on Krishna and work sincerely, and everything will come out very easily. The program of work given by you is very satisfactory, and it is good that you have got an opportunity to teach a course in the John Hopkins Free University. I have seen the photograph and the cutting from the university catalog. They are very encouraging. I am glad that Sabala also come to assist you. So accepting always Krishna as the supreme advisor and always begging for his mercy. Go on with your progressive march, and I am very satisfied with your activity. I am so glad to learn that your good wife is also helping you. There is the duty of faithful companion of life. If the wife is helpful in the spiritual progress of life, she is the best friend and philosopher. So in Krishna consciousness, the wife is never a burden, but she is completely a counterpart. So set example to your count, countrymen for countrymen how younger generation can live peacefully. Husband and wife being engaged in Krishna's service. There are many examples of this type of husband and wife working in our different center for propagating this sublime message. Hope this will make you in a good health. Your ever well vessel, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Any take-away points, Mataji?
So here Prabhupada is saying that that you are doing the Krishna's works very sincerely, and by doing that, Krishna will help you to do everything easily and nicely. So always depend on Krishna, and then then all the works will done very easily. And so then Prabhupada also mentioned that he is very satisfied by his work, by what he has done, and he because he is teaching one of the university, Hopkins University, and he is very pleased and is very satisfied with his work and other things. Other thing is like talking about like husband and wife. Yeah, and then he also advised. He also saying that he always like say like Krishna is the supreme advisor and always begging for his mercy, and then all the work and whatever you do will be satisfied. And then and then he was mentioning that I'm so happy, so satisfied that your wife is also assisting and helping you to fulfill this companion of So it's very important, if husband and wife do the work together, and there is many example also, it's very important that in the Krishna consciousness, his husband and wife both are together, then all the work will be completely nicely and satisfaction level. And yeah. Yeah, and countrymen, how younger generation can live peacefully, is husband and wife. And that's why Krishna, like in Krishna consciousness, he also mentioned that wife is never burdened, and it's like is your counterpart. So there is so set example in your countrymen, how younger girls. Yeah, so he just mentioning that it's very important. Husband and wife work to do this together, for the Krishna consciousness work. And yeah, I think that's something I understand. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very nicely explained. Yes, husband and wife should be ideal couple, and then in Krishna consciousness. Okay, thank you so much. Any other comments, dear devotees, you wanted to add to this letter? Okay, so that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. Always try to remain dependent on Krishna and work sincerely. Everything will come out very easily. Okay, that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. And from the announcements point of view, so today is Sunday, and coming Tuesday our teaching. So tomorrow is Monday, the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, and Tuesday teaching practice session. Saranya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I'm still waiting for some responses, Prabhu. I'll update you as soon as.
Sure, Mataji. Thank you so much. And when I'm away, so kindly look after the sessions, and also Kishori Gokulanandini Mataji will be also there to host in case Mataji needs also help her.
Okay, sure, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay. And Radha Sevaka Mataji is here, and all devotees, so kindly make sure that sanghas are going on. Okay, so that is updates from me. And dear devotees, if you have got it, and also just mention for the Narsimha Seva, we have made those contributions to Bhaktivedanta Mana, that part, and also to Narsimha Dev in the ISKCON Mayapur, 51,000 rupees and 51,001 rupees. That is also given to Devashish Prabhuji and Mampi Mataji. So Mata, they will be offering to the Lord when they are going to the ISKCON Mayapur. Okay, so that is wanted to mention. Okay, those are the updates from me. And dear devotees, if you have got any other updates or you wanted to share anything on Krishna consciousness, kindly share. If there are no updates, then we shall move to the next part. So today is Sunday, as every fortnight Ramayana. Okay, so shall move to the Ramayana part. I think so. In the Ramayana, we have been discussing. The second part is the Rama departs to forest, and then in the other side in the Ayodhya, devastation. So this chapter was completed, where Dasharatha, so he leaves his body. So seeing Dasharatha lamented and tossed about in agony for some time, gradually he became silent, his mind fixed only upon Rama, stricken with the intolerable pain of separation. The great emperor gave up his life during the night and ascended to the highest abode of the Supreme Lord. So in that night, so many things, just in one night, so many things have happened. Of course, that night, whenever before the coronation of Ramachandra, that night is sending of Ramachandra to forest, that has happened. And then after couple of days, Sumantra has returned after dropping Ramachandra, Lakshman and Sita in the forest. He came back and then speaking to Dasharatha, Kaushalya, Sumitra, and in that night so many conversations has happened. And then Dasharatha is remembering that his past time, how he has killed unknowingly ascetic, and then ascetic parents also left their bodies, and they also they gave the curse, saying that only for the benefit of Dasharatha only they gave the curse. They said that actually I wanted to give you this curse because it will help you so that you will be free from in the next free from this sin in the next life as a killing of Brahmana or a ascetic. For that purpose only I am giving. It is not that I have envious towards you. So the likewise ascetic says to Dasharatha, and then Dasharatha, so he is remembering and speaking to Kaushalya about that one. What is that curse? O king, when you will also die with the separation from your son. So like us. Likewise, ascetics they have left their body, and Dasharatha helped them putting a fire pyre, and then so that they will for his son, and also ascetics also the parents of the ascetic boy, they are also entered into the fire. So three people at the same time they died. And then Dasharatha helped them, and then taking that curse, he went, and then now he is remembering that past time, and gradually understanding that it is time for him to leave the body, and he became silent. His mind fixed only upon Ramachandra. This is Antakale Chamameva Smaran Muktva Kalevaram. Whenever he is leaving the body, if he is remembering Krishna and Rama, he will attain that abode of the Lord. So stricken with intolerable pain of separation. the great emperor, gave up his life. Okay, so that is Dasharatha's leaving of body is done. So of course later on Dasharatha will be coming in his subtle body later on whenever the Rama, after hearing this news, he also laments for some time, and then he offers oblations to Dasharatha. And when he is fighting with Ravanasura later on, after um, 14 years, at that time, there is a Agni Pariksha to Sita as well. At that time, he was hesitating, and of course, it is a pastime. At that time, Dasharatha also come in his body accompanied by the demigods, and then he speaks to Ramachandra at that time. Okay, so knowing that, so the soul, it has never got a death, or it cannot be destroyed. So again, Dasharatha comes and speak to Ramachandra. So now we do not have to worry about it. So now we shall move in such a way. Next chapter 3, Bharata's return. Okay, so again, this is a very beautiful thing. Bharata's, how the mood of a brother, Bharata's mood. Bharata is always inclined to and with loving affection to his elder brother Ramachandra. And and what is his attitude towards his mother Kaikeyi because of her actions? So likewise, we are going to see these reflections. Okay, can I request the devotees to take a turn to read a page of paragraphs, whatever is in the one page, to complete that paragraph. Can I request starting with in alphabetical order, the Devashish Prabhuji, if available.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. The following morning, large numbers of singers and the bards assembled at the palace with intention of waking the king. They stood near his quarters and began their recitations. Recitations praising the emperor and telling of his ancestors' glorious deeds. Holy Brahmins chanted sacred texts while expert musicians played on various instruments. Those chants and songs mixed with the singing of the birds on the palace tree and created an exquisitely beautiful sound. The palace attendants, unaware of the king demands, gathered together the items required for his morning ablutions. Gold pots filled with scented water, also with many soap of unguents were fixed. In accord with the Vedic tradition, young virgin girls, along with milk cow and other pure items like gold and silver, were brought before the king so that he would see this immediately upon waking, thereby creating an auspicious start of the day. When everything was made ready just before sunrise, the royal ladies went into the king's chamber to wake him. As they approached his bed, they saw him lying motionless and showing no symptom of life. Nearby, Kaushalya and Sumitra were lying asleep, exhausted from grief. Their faces were tear-stained and withered like lotus scorched by the sun. The palace ladies fell back in alarm and began to shake like reeds in the stream. They touched the king's body and, finding him cold and lifeless, realized he has died from grief. All those beautiful omens began to wail loudly, like a herd of female elephants who have lost their lord in the forest. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Very well.
So here in this Valmiki Ramayana, so here Valmiki is describing the incidents, what is happening in the palace of Dasharatha. So now, whenever waking up a king, one has to, not has to, so it is an arrangement for chanting the sacred text while expert musicians played and describing Vandi Magadas. So these are all Gainticha Uttama Shloka. So they also glorify Krishna generally. This is how Swayambhumanu, he always hears Pratibhusheshu Anubadhena Prudashurunun Harehe Kataha. He's always hearing this Krishna as soon as he wake up in the morning, early in the morning. But here, to wake up even the kings, so praising him, O king, wake up, please. So you have been doing, you have got so many things to do, and in order to before telling his duties, they will try to recite and sing on various instruments, and also praising the emperor and telling of his ancestors' glorious deeds. So it happens as a custom. And also apart from that, this singing of the birds and the palace trees are created in exquisitely beautiful sounds. So this is we can see in the villages mostly. Sometimes as soon as we wake up, we hear, but no, we may not be hearing this chanting of Vedic hymns, but we hear bird songs. As soon as we will hear in the spring seasons, chirping birds, so beautiful. That is auspicious. And then, so by the time here, attendants, mainly the ladies, so they are attending the king's palace where even the queens are also sleeping next to the Dasharatha. So at that time, they have got beautiful young virgin girls along with milk, cows, and other pure items like gold and silver were brought before the king. This is auspicious thing. This is the Vedic tradition. Auspicious start of the day. Then everything will be energetic, all good. And then further, so by the time they understood that king has already left his body is cold, and it looking like Sumitra and Kaushalya. They're also sleeping, but their faces tear streaked and withered like the lotuses scorched by the sun. And they're also lying there. Now, as soon as these attendants, lady attendants, they are understanding that king's body, now there is a big uh, uh, cries. So this is the palace ladies fell back in alarm and began to shake like reeds in stream. They touched the king's body, and he is cold and lifeless. Though body is perfect, but when there is no soul, it becomes cold. All the functions of the body stopped, lifeless. Okay, so we shall move on. Now, what is going to happen? And it is comparing like the head of female elephants who have lost their lord in the forest. So beautiful analogy. Okay, so we shall move. So can I request Asha Mataji next read a page of paragraphs, please?
Next, how many paragraphs?
3 paragraphs, Mataji.
Okay. So start with Kaushalya and Sumitra. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji, yes.
Kaushalya and Sumitra were roused by the sound. Looking at this emperor and touching him, they cried out, "My lord," and dropped to the ground. But Kaihi ran into the room and she she too became afflicted by pain and sorrow, falling down unconscious. The three queens tossed about on the ground and lamenting loudly. They appeared like three goddesses fallen from heaven, deprived of their splendor. The whole chamber became crowded with the men and women, all alarmed, bustling about excitedly. With the sudden death of the king, everyone became perplexed and confused. Loud cries filled the air. The king's 300 maidservants surrounded him on all sides, weeping piteously. Kaushalya looked at her husband's face, which seemed like the sun shone on it of its luster. Kneeling by his side, she held his head and began to loudly reprimand Kaihehi. Oh, cruel Kaihehi, are you now satisfied? Having killed the king, you may now enjoy the throne without fear. Rama has forsaken me and gone to the forest, and now my husband has ascended to heaven. I cannot live any longer. Only if we could move a little bit. Rama has gone. Only Kaiheyi, casting all propriety to the winds, could live happily after seeing her husband die in agony. Oh, cruel lady, you have destroyed our noble race. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, is that it?
Hare Krishna Mataji, sorry, I was reading. Okay. So here Dasharatha, he's died now, and all the wives and maid servant, everyone are weeping. So that is, we know, like in generally, when a master of the house or the important person or family member leaves, everyone come and cry. But especially here, the master, either husband or a father, so who is the eldest, who is sustaining the entire family, he must be carefully guarded by everyone. If he dies, then there is no sustenance. Of course, everyone will be surviving, but there is no unity there. So here, they're all coming to the palace and crying. Even the Kaikeyi also. Kaikeyi also ran towards the. So even Dasharatha also mentioning before to Kaikeyi, Kaikeyi, if you are doing that, I cannot live anymore. I will die. But even though sometimes we see and observe how Maya works in this world, knowing that there is a minimum sense, but still it is happening means we need to understand it is Daivi Maya. And so that has happened. But now all are crying here. And Kaushalya uh, is now just saying to reprimanding Kaikeyi, because of you, O cruel Kaikeyi, are you now satisfied? Everything. So our husband is now departed from this world. Okay, so likewise, there again we know whenever the women are coming together and doing, so they will speak. They cannot hide anything. They will speak out their heart. So again, it is now the turn to Kaikeyi to receive all kinds of the scoldings or curses from their her co-wives. Okay, so now we shall continue further. Can I request next, Gauringi Mataji, please? So to read next until here, these 4 paragraphs, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Kausalya embraced her dead husband. She thought of Rama, Sita, and Lakshman. How would they learn of their father's death? What will they do when they hear of it? Even now, poor Sita must be clinging fearfully to Rama, um, tear-filled by the sign and sound of the forest. If this painful news should reach her, surely she will die. Kausalya could not tolerate any more grief. Uh, Tearfully, she cried out to Kaikeyi, "You have killed me as surely as you have killed the king. I shall enter the fire clinging to my lord's body." With difficulty, the king's ministers um, separated Kausalya from Dasaratha. They gently removed her from his chamber and began to perform the necessary rituals for the death of a king. As none of Dasaratha's sons were present, they could not perform his funeral. Therefore, in order to preserve the body until Bharata arrived, they immersed in a vat of fragrant oil. The city of Ayodhya, already plunged in sorrow, become even more desolate. The people cried out their distress, and everything remained still. No one going out for any business. The great city looked like a dark night, bereft of the moon and stars. Loudly reproaching Kaikeyi in choked voice. The citizens grieved throughout the day and night, finding no rest. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sorry for background
Thank
noise,
you,
Prabhu.
Mataji. You have read nicely. Thank you so much, Mataji. So now here, the Kaushalya, she's the one. She lost her son. Son has gone to forest. Now husband died. Now she is the most pitiable. She is in most pitiable condition. And now she is crying that, "Oh, my dear husband, you left me." By embracing her. We see like whenever a person died in the family or about to die, Sayanah Parisojadbihi Parivitah Subundubihi Vachamaanopi न भूते कालपाशवशं गतः एवं कुटुम्बभरणे व्यापृतात्म अजितेन्द्रियः म्रियते रुदितां स्वानं गुरुवेदन यास्तद्धेहि Guruvedana, he dies with so much of pain. And when he is on the bed, Sayanaha Parisochatbihi, on the bed, he is lamenting. Parivitaha Swabundabihi, people are surrounded around him. When he wanted to speak, he cannot speak generally. This Kapil Bhagavan describes the condition of a living entity when he is about to leave because of all his sinful activities or activities, remembering all of those things, and still he wanted to do it, but he cannot speak. Vachan manopi na brute kala pasha vasham gataha. So all because of he is entangled here. But here, for the Dasharatha's case, so he is remembering Rama, he left the body. But what is happening to all the people surrounding dependents? They're all crying, especially the wives here, Kaushalya. And she now immediately thinking of in the lamenting condition about Rama and Sita and Lakshmana, how they would feel. They're already in the forest and they are not nearby. They have got duties to perform rituals, but they are very far in the forest, bound by the promises. It is a painful news. And she is thinking that Sita may die there. Already there in the forest with fearful conditions. So now she could not tolerate her grief. And again she cried out to Kaikeyi, "You killed me, O Kaikeyi." See, now Kaikeyi is receiving all kinds of this bad, inauspicious, the words, of course. She took the instructions of a Mandara. Now she is now experiencing all these results. This is karma phala. So with difficulty, king's ministers, they separated Kausalya from Dasharatha. So now they have to perform the rituals. Though it is a king's body, it does not mean that he needs to be stayed in the palace. It must go into the buried ground, or it must be burnt to the ashes immediately, just in a single moment. There is no need to wait. Shariram kshanabhanguram, idam shariram parinamapechalam, patityavasyam slesandijajharam, किम अन्यैः क्लिश्यति मोढधर्मते निरामयं कृष्ण रसायनं पिब. Always drink the nectar of Krishna Katha. Body will fall on one day. Whatever beautiful it is, even though it is wife, beautiful children, or beautiful father, mother, anything it is, as long as the life force is there, we cannot expect when the life force will go out of the body. Immediately it will be burned to the ashes or turned into soil, or it will become a stool of dogs and foxes. Once they eat the flesh of the body, that body will turn into the stool of a dogs and the foxes or vultures. Or it may be eaten by the fishes whenever its body is thrown into the waters, rivers. So here now, in order to carry out the rituals, the ministers, they have separated Dasharatha's body from Kaushalya and trying to prepare for rituals. But his children, like the Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrugna, they are not present. They could not perform this funeral without them. So in order to preserve the body until Bharata arrives, they immersed it in a vat of fragrant oil. So we see there are fragrant oils so that to preserve the body for a few days until the necessary things to happen, but they cannot retain for longer time. If they keep the dead body, all inauspicious things would happen in and around the surroundings of the village or the town or the kingdom. That's why people will not allow. Sometimes people kill one of their family members and keep and try to do so many things, abominable things. It is so horrible. Okay, so here, but it is a open thing, they're preserving in a fragrant oil. Similarly, we have also seen whenever the father of this Prithu Maharaj, the Vena, he was also a bad king. And when he was killed by the Brahmins, and at the time, Vena's mother, Sunita, she also preserved the Vena's body in the oils, fragrant oils. And then later on, Brahmins came to Sunita and asked his body so that they will try to beget a child from the dead body through the Vedic mantras. And from there, one Nishada came and he went to the forest when they churned the thighs of a Vena, and when they churned the shoulders with the Vedic mantras. At that time, Prithu Maharaj and Archi, they became incarnated as a couple. So here now the body is preserved in the fragrant oil. Now, city of Ayodhya, they are already plunged in sorrow. They became more desolate. Everything remained still. No one going out for any business. And now everyone are reproaching Kaikeyi in choked voices. Everyone. See, it is not one thing. See, that is how she is receiving karmapala. And citizens also grieved throughout the day and night and finding no rest. Okay, so likewise, this is devastation and all bad things are happening in the Ayodhya. Okay, so we shall move on. Next, can I request Mrida Sachi Mataji, if available, to read next two paragraphs, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, I've just joined. Who did you ask for?
I request Mrida Sachi Mataji. If Mataji is not available, you can read Mataji.
Okay, yeah. Okay, the following day, the king Brahman councillors assembled together looking towards Vashishta, who was temporarily carrying out the king's duties. The wise sages made different speeches pointing to the need for a prince to be quickly coronated. The sages described how, without a ruler, the kingdom would soon meet with ruin. In a land without a king, even the rain would not fall in proper time, and crops would fall. Some would disobey their fathers and wives and their husbands. There could be no personal property without a protector, and men could not sleep in peace. Everything would be chaotic, and anarchy would soon prevail. Like fishes, men would devour one another. Atheism would become prominent, and godless and misbehaved men would become leaders. One of the chief Brahmins concluded, even as the eyes protect the body, so the king is ever vigilant to protect the people. The king is truthfulness and virtue incarnate. He is the mother and the father, and has the best benefactor and the best benefactor of all men. All the principal gods reside in the body of the king. Indeed, he is the powerful representative of the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Therefore, O Vasishta, have Bharat and Shatrughan brought home. Quickly crown a qualified man as king before this ancient and prosperous kingdom is thrown into utter confusion and darkness. When the Brahmin sages had finished speaking, they sat awaiting Vashishta's opinion. Vashishta looked around and the assembly and replied, "We should immediately send swift messengers to the Kekaya capital, Girivaja, since the emperor has bestowed this kingdom upon Bharata. He must be brought here as quickly as possible and installed as king. No other course of action can be considered."
Thank you, Mataji. So here, in this paragraphs, so Valmiki is describing here how a kingdom should be. So sometimes in our homes, as long as father is there, everything is good. It doesn't matter. He is the sustenance for the entire family, whether he is weak or not. But as long as he is there, the eldest or a husband, everything goes. Even though husband is weak, but woman, all her opulence, the like the sindura, all kinds of jewels, color clothes, and all kinds of decorations she can make simply being her husband alive. That is her asset. One has to protect her husband in all times and circumstances with great respect. विश्रम्भेन आत्मशोचेन गौरवेन प्रजापतिः गौरवेन दमेन च शुश्रूषया सौहृदेन vacha madhuraya च boho. Always everyone tries to please the father, please the husband, please spiritual master. Bhadimiti anumanyeta gaurvena gururvachaha. Just it is your order. He may not be as strong enough, but still one has to follow individually. So if he is not there, now here what is going to happen? Without a ruler and without a master of the house, what happens? The kingdom would soon meet with ruin. Land without a king, even the rain would not fall in proper time and the crops would fail. So all these inauspicious things and would so his sons would disobey their fathers, wives their husbands. There would be no personal property without protector, and men could not. So here everything will become chaotic. So this is the situation. When there is a important person in the home, we need to protect him. It doesn't matter whether he is a old, whether he is a weak. As long as he is there, all things, auspicious things will go on in the home and in the kingdom, either in the village or town, everywhere. Otherwise, the atheism, so many things, inauspicious things. This is dharma. And then what here Brahmana is mentioning about the eyes protect the body, so the king is ever vigilant to protect the people. So here about the king, nunam Shankaramanam Deva Satam Samrakshitayate Vadam cha Astam Yastvam Harehe Siktirhi Palini. He is the Harehe Siktirhi Palini. He is the representative of the Lord. and energy of the Lord. He protects the Satam, this is the devotees, and he punishes the miscreants. And yo arka Indu Agni Indra Vayunam Yamadharma Prachetasam Rupanisthana Adaste Tasmai Suklayate Namaha. He is the representative of all the gods, and all principal gods reside in the body of the king. Indeed, he is the powerful representative of the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Tasmai Suklayate Namaha. He is the king. Therefore, O Vasistha, have Bharata and Shatrughna brought home, quickly crown a qualified man as king, before this ancient and prosperous kingdom is thrown into utter confusion and darkness. So one must be immediately installed as a king. Nowadays, it is the politics. Even though there is no chief minister, everyone are going to fight each other, and people they do not hear who is going to be. This is kind of a demonic craziness, that is democracy. And now the Brahmins spoke. Now the Vasistha, he is the spiritual master for even Dasharatha also, and Ramachandra. He is the priest, family priest. And now they are looking for the eldest person. Vasistha is son of Brahma as well. The opinions of a Vasistha. And Vasistha looked around and assembled and replied, now immediate thing is to send the messengers to Kekaya. Kekaya is now, it is a Russia. That is what we used to hear. Kekaya is the Russia nowadays. And then send the messengers there, and then so again Girivraja. I think Girivraja is, that is the capital. Kekaya capital is the Girivraja. I think it is now, it is Moscow. I don't know what is the current name of Girivraja there. Okay, since the emperor has bestowed this kingdom upon Bharata, he must be brought here as quickly as possible and installed as king. Okay, that is the course of action to be considered. Okay, so now messengers are to be sent to the Kekaya. Okay, so we shall move on further. Can Usha Mataji please next? Hare Krishna, Usha Mataji, would you like to read?
Hare Krishna. Just a second. Vasishtha wanted Bharata to be brought home before the news of his father's death and Rama's exile reached him. Bharata should be informed of the heartbreaking news while surrounded by his intimate family. Vasishtha said no to the messengers. Tell the prince that all is well, but that he is required for some urgent business. Take with you excellent gifts for the Kaikai king and leave at once. The messengers mounted upon the best of the king's horses, which were capable of covering hundreds of miles a day, and sped westwards towards Girivraja. They took the shortest possible route, at times leaving the road and traversing open countryside and woods. They crossed the Ma- Malini River, which flowed between the Upper Tala and Pralamba mountain, and also the Ganges where it flowed through Hastinapura, moving quickly through the Panchala and Kurujangala province. The messengers reached the Saradhana river at the end of the second day. After crossing that river, they entered the city of Kalinga. Hardly pausing for a moment, galloping together, they passed through the city and soon crossed the uh, Kushumati river. Then the Beans and Salmali rivers, finally arriving at the Kekaya district at the end of the third day. With their horses all but exhausted, they entered the city of Girivraja and went straight towards the king's palace just as the dawn approached. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Mataji. So here, one thing when we are, Vasistha is sending messengers to the to call Bharata and Shatrugna to the kingdom back. So when we are relaying the messages, any bad news, so we need to first immediately say that everything is well. Tell the prince that all is well, that he is required for some urgent business. Take with you excellent gifts. We should not give anyone inauspicious news directly, immediately. First, we need to set the ground and then make them, uh, once they are in the ground, able to digest the bad news. Then we can slowly making that it is not a big thing, it is a normal thing, and if it everywhere it happens, likewise, slowly relay the message. So this is what Sister is saying. But when we are calling, we need to. I think it is maybe many of the people they might have experienced this one. If one of their family members are passed away, then they were giving the message saying that your father is not well, so please come home. Likewise. And then message again here, the distance these messengers have gone, it took 3 days. And then there are so many rivers, as mentioned, so many rivers, and even the crossing, even the countryside and woods also, taking the shortcuts. Even by taking shortcuts, it takes 3 days by the evening. And by uh, the horses are the best of the king's horses, which can run faster. But still it took 3 days. See, it was very long time. Nowadays we all got phones. Within a moment, we'll pass the messages. And here, there are mountains also given here. Malini River, they crossed Malini River, up Aparatala and Pralamba mountains, and they passed through, flowed through the Hastinapura as well. So where is Ayodhya? Where is Hastinapura? And then passing through Hastinapura, and then going through Panchala and Kurujangala provinces. Okay, so these are all, we have seen this Kurujangala whenever Parikshit was wandering around the kingdom after he took charge from the Yudhishthira. And also when Krishna was going from Hastinapura to Dwaraka, at the time also we see he used to stop in some places. Tatra tatra tatraihi harihi pratyudita arharanaha sayam bhiji deshim pashat gavishtu gam gatah tata. He used to stop some places and everyone used to come and see Krishna and worship him and give gifts to Krishna. But Krishna also took a couple of days going from Hastinapura to Dwaraka. But here, every day evening, in the evenings, he stopped after the sunset, he stopped traveling, and then so that horses will take rest, all his entourage will take rest, and in the next day morning, they will carry on their journey. By the time, people will take advantages to come and see and Krishna. So these are we could see these places Anattan, Savuburujha, Sruddhan, Janapadan, Swakan, Dadmo Darvaram Tesham, Vishadam Samayanniva. When there is separation from the Lord, people are morose. And so the Lord Dadmo Darvaram Tesham, he blows the conch shell to give the pleasure to the dependents, the citizens. Okay, so that places is Panchal and Kurujangala provinces. But his messengers reached again some other rivers, Saradananda river, and on the second day. And then further, another city is Kulinga, but still they're continuously going and galloping road together with the positive city and this. And again, Ikshumati river. So many rivers are being Saradananda river, Malini river, and Ikshumati river. I have not heard these river names. Then the Bees and the Salmali rivers. Finally arriving at Kekaya district on the third day, end of the third day. Horses got exhausted. and they straight went to the king's palace just as dawn approached. Anyone knows about this Ikshumati river, Salmali river, and Saradananda river or Malini river? So anyone from North India? Have you heard any time before? It may be just part of the Russian provinces nowadays, or maybe Kazakhstan or Russia, those areas. Okay, we may not be knowing about it because it is traveling from Ayodhya, passing through Hastinapura, and then going that areas. Okay, so likewise, that section is now got, and another part is going to be continued. We shall stop here. We are already 50 minutes past 7 o'clock. I request the devotees to share your any questions, or if you wanted to share anything else on this one, or any reflections from the point where Dasharatha left his body and the messenger sent to the this Kekaya king, so that to bring Bharata and Shatrugna, whatever is happening. If you have got any questions or you anything to share, kindly share. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, just one question, like when can we look forward to having like good pious kings in the future? Or because obviously this is, how do we?
It is just only we need to follow our dharma first. We need to follow dharma. Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. When we protect dharma, then dharma will protect us. And when people are engaged in their duties, automatically the best king will be elected as well. So that is only way is to propagate the Krishna consciousness. Again, coming to the basic point. When all Krishna consciousness, for example, I also desire that I wanted someone to be a king who is of Krishna conscious, and then establishing stopping the four abominable activities: no meeting, no illicit sex in the country, no gambling, and no intoxication, and everyone had no cow killing especially, and ban all the slaughterhouses, and it, like I think most of the it is very difficult to ban that one, but many demonic people will come. But if demonic people are there, we need to make sure that they will be punished properly. And then everywhere Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam are start in the schools, and in each and every town there should be a Vishnu temple and Krishna temple and Rama temple. These three temples must be there widely, variously, and no more industrialization of the mm, modern civilization. So no more industrialization, only eco-friendly thing, and stop all the cement factories. First of all, encourage all the citizens to have eco-friendly homes. No more industrial wastes. Of course, I'm just saying if I become a king, these things, but I do it may happen or it may not happen. But so, and then make the people engage in cow protection. Everyone must have at least 4 cows. At least 4 cows. Encourage them, and cow killing is must be stopped. And that does not mean there can be a sacrifices. Wild cows can be sacrificed in the way, but that is also not authorized in the age of Kali. Ashwamedam Gavalambham Sanyasam Palapaitrukam. These are the stopped thing. And Devarenu Sudotpattim. And this is a Kalu Pancha Vajjayet. These 5 activities must be stopped in the age of Kali. What is the Ashwamedam? Ashwamedha Yajna. Gavalambam. It is the sacrificing a cow. And third one is the Sannyasam. Renouncing order that must be stopped. And fourth one is the Palapaitrukam, offering meat to the forefathers. That must be stopped. And fifth one is the Devarenu Sudutpattim, and begetting the child in the wife of a brother. That is also to be stopped. Previously, it was allowed. If we see, Vyasadeva has begotten Dhritarashtra, Pandu, Vidura in his brother's wife on the request of his mother only. That is authenticated. Likewise, some incidents are there in the past. That is now stopped in this age of Kali. Devrenu Sudutpatti. These 5 activities must be stopped. And then follow the Krishna consciousness. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam to be taught. We do not stop the religious principles. Some people are still going there, like some Christians and Muslims, they will do it. But cow protection must be there. And then everyone should be wearing and these dresses, the clothing must be, factories must be stopped, industrialization must be stopped, no more IT, no more artificial intelligence, no more internet, and stop all this. If there is a telecasting going on, it must be only authorized by the government. That needs to be there. No more cinemas or entertainments. Cinemas are there only can be from the Puranas, based on authenticated Vedic scriptures written by the rishis who are completely free from the material entanglement. Take that one and present as it is without any mix of the directors or story writers. So these are the few things I would make sure that if I become a king, so that citizens of the country or the state will be very happy. Though initially there may be oppositions, but we need to recruit the Kshatriyas who are all in the Krishna consciousness in such a way that we should not hesitate to chop off such kind of miscreants. But it doesn't matter whether we are going to stay further prolonged in that position, but we must make sure that according to scriptures, these are happening. Then Krishna he will protect us because अतो हि अन्योन्यम atmanam chatram rakshati rakshat. There he mentions that Swayambhu Manu mentions when we protect the Brahmanas and the Vishnu temples, all the economy will be surrounding around the temples of Krishna, Vishnu, and Ramachandra. And it must be under the hands of the devotees who are protecting the interest of the Krishna, the Lord. We are not enemies of everyone, but we are, if anyone is acting against the religious principles, then we punish them. Ato hyanyonyam atmanam brahmakshatram ch rakshitah rakshati sma avyodevah sayah sad asad atmakah. When we protect the Brahmanical culture, the Lord will protect us. Lord will protect. So we do not hesitate to implement the rules for the sake of a position as chief minister or a prime minister. But we simply carry out. Lord will look after us. We have got assurance. Rakshati sma avyo devaha sayah sad asad atmakaha. He is in the heart of everyone. Sad asad atmakaha. He will protect us. But we simply how this Yudhishthira and Parikshit, they have ruled the kingdom because they have certain Krishna pradhan. Apipala dharmarajaha pitruvad ranjayan prajaha. Just like a father. Nispruhaha sarvakamebhyaha Krishna padanu sevaya, without any material enjoyment. But whoever is ruling the state or country, they should not have personal bank accounts. Of course, they must be completely free from the entanglement. That must be there. Or completely pure Vaishnavas must be recruited for all the either IPS positions or IAS, Indian administrative positions, or not only in India, throughout the world, we must recruit only the Vaishnavas, and Brahmanas are to be given and maintained with the highest salaries. And then Kshatriyas, they must have, they are all the guardians of the country. They must be. And then Vaishyas, we would be a king would be taxing only the Vaishyas, not the Sudras. Sudras, they will simply work and they will simply receive the remuneration from the Vaishyas or from their employers when they are rendering service to the Brahmanas or Kshatriyas. Sudras cannot be taxed. They are just simply given. Brahmanas should not be taxed. Only Vaishyas because they are doing the business. But that can be done. but we should not tax anything. But here, these are the principles. If I become a king, I just simply carry out the Bhagavatam without any personal speculations. Just simply like Prudu Maharaj, he was mentioning all these points. One has to look after the citizens just like a father. Otherwise, he will be ruined without any personal like Modi, Narendra Modi, he does not have personal, but still there is a cow killing and many things are going on. We should be protecting the cows. So if I become, it doesn't matter whatever comes. First, I'll pass the orders first, like the Trump, and then we will see whatever comes. But because we have Rakchatisma Avyodevaha, the Lord is giving assurance that I will protect Dharma. If you are standing there, why I should hesitate to implement that order? Even Arjuna is fighting on the order of Krishna. Why should I hesitate? Arjuna, for the sake of cows, he has faced, one person faced single-handedly the entire Kaurav army when he was in the incognito, when he was protecting the Virata's kingdom, Virata's cows. The
Okay,
Lord.
and
Definitely.
Prabhu, so in terms of like devotees of the Lord, they can probably go between any of the varnas and ashrams, I would assume.
Yes.
So obviously there are Brahmins, there's Kshatriyas, there's Vaishyas, there's Shudras. But in terms of a devotee, if they can go through any of the varnas, any of the ashrams, what should their role be then?
Just based on constitutional position. If a Vaishnava, a Krishna devotee, is in the Brahmana position, then he will carry out the duties like in the temples, like deity worship and all those things, and also helping the people, devotees of the society, by giving the good instructions for their spiritual elevation. Kshatriya is there to protect the Brahmanas and temples. The first that is the first thing, and then he protect the country as well. Of course, they're all that is Kshatriya's duty. Vaishyas, Krishi Goraksha Vanijyam, they do protect the cows, Vanijyam, business, and Krishi Goraksha, and also farming. And then Sudras, they simply just, even though he is a small person, he is a street cleaner, he also become a Vaishnava, and he does not have any anxiety. That is the Varnashrama Dharma.
So does, so just to get this clear, does you know, like how you said a Kshatriya would first guard the temple, then would go out and then guard the country. So is the country bigger than the temple?
So first thing, Brahminic culture must be protected. That is in the temples, and this must be protected first thing. Then he can protect the country in terms of the borders, country borders, and also make sure that his country should not have slaughterhouses, cow killing, such kind of things, intoxication, and gambling, and illicit association within the jurisdiction of the kingdom. That must not be there. Then Kali cannot enter into the kingdom. But still, there are some things would happen. We need to make sure that we are following all the Vedic injunctions. Yes, the first thing is the temples and then country.
Okay, so like I said, the country, because obviously it's all falling under the, you know, it's all Krishna's anyway, everything, including the temple. So you basically expand on in jurisdiction, like within your jurisdiction. Is that right?
Yes. So the temples must be established everywhere so that people and economy is based on the temple, not based on something industries. That is a fake thing.
Okay.
because people, they will offer their offerings, contribution to the temple, and then the temple is maintaining the Brahminic culture, and then Kshatriya is protecting the temple, and people, the labor should not be taxed. Only the Vaishyas needs to be taxed according to the profits, 1/6 of their profits.
But in this age of Kali, like,
It can be done.
yeah.
Okay, so but now what we need to do, based on our position, we are very far away, scattered here and there. But the first thing is propagate this, learn Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, chant, and keep ourselves to be fit by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, following regulative principles, following the order of spiritual master. Then we are eligible to carry out the instructions of like bigger duties, like in the America, Tulsi Gabbard is there, so she is also devotee of Krishna. So she is somewhere or other maintaining, but her position is not yet topmost. But such kind of people, if you goes and sit there, everything will come auspicious. And if we get, if we are perfect devotee, if it is not possible for us, we may train other people. We may train our children to enter into the such kind of areas according to their interest. Okay, so that is how one has to take it. Thank you so much, Mataji, for bringing that point. Any other comments, dear devotees? Asha Mataji, you wanted to add anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Not to add anything, I have a question.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhu, you said even somebody leave when the soul leave the body, you shouldn't keep the body for not more than 3 days. Something like that. Otherwise, the inauspicious things happen around the house, around the country, around everywhere.
Yes, Mataji. So that
So
would
in this country, you have to wait for the doctor's certificate and the death certificate and all. So how can we uh, bury the body in 3 days' time?
when the dead bodies are kept in the mortuary and post-mortem, so many things.
Yeah, they take so long, 2 weeks, sometimes more than that.
Yeah, that is not good for that environment and in and around surroundings.
And for the soul as well, Prabhu, or soul both.
So it lives. It does not feel. Soul does not feel anything at all. Even while you are in the present body, it is never. It has no relation with the body at all. It is, for example, if we are living in a home, and if for the rains and the sun and everything, only the house will be is manifest. But we are always sitting in the home. Of course, we may feel little bit, but we are not the house. So soul does not have any relation to the dead body. Here, attachment to the dead body, according to its attachment to the dead body, it will be waiting what I should be doing because no knowledge.
Yeah.
The consciousness still is there. I am this body, something like that. When that consciousness is purified, what happens? He would not be dying in the hospitals or mortuary, something like that. He will be placed in the right position and he leaves the body peacefully, remembering Krishna, or among the devotees association, he leaves body, or in the sleep, slowly, peacefully, without disturbing anyone. That is the devotee's position.
Yeah.
Because of his past karma, he will die in the hospitals, being operated by many doctors who are not experts. All they are trying to do experiments on that body, and then he will die in such a horrible condition. And the body
Even
will
for
be.
even
Yes,
for the death certificate, some doctors take up to 3 weeks. It happened to one of my friends' son.
yes, Mataji. So that happens. What should we do?
Mm.
This is the
If it is
government.
back home, you can do as per your wish, but not in this country.
Yeah, this happens in the cities and towns. In the villages, if one lives peacefully, then they will normally cremate the body. Funeral.
Thank you.
So that's why we need to living in a peaceful conditions, not in the cities or towns. Knowing that that body cannot be revived, but still it can be revived. In the previous days, when the dead person is died, village people what they do, they perform like a bathing and then put it clothes and then take the body to the graveyard. In between there is a point, one or two points are there, so they will keep the dead body, that body down, and then they will call him with his name. Please come out, or please come out. Are you still here? Are you still here? Three times. And body is still in good condition. Sometimes that person will enter into the body and wake up. That kind of situations happened a number of times. If the body is not appropriate, like they have already did a post-mortem and body is no more useful, then he cannot enter. So inauspicious thing. See, these people, they make experiments on the body, cut the body and see and everything. That body is no more useful. And soul does not like to come back. That kind of opportunity, it will be lost by this soul and the family members. So this is some kind of we need. That's why live in a peaceful and a village environment. It doesn't matter we have got all kinds of comforts. I'm not getting money. How do I maintain? Do I need to work here? If we simply just go to a Vrindavan at a village, whatever we have got, everyone has got some intelligence. The Lord gives to maintain how to maintain the body. It is not a difficult thing. If I leave the UK, if I leave the job, how do I maintain my body? How to maintain my family? How do I pay bills? All anxiety comes because the nature where they have grown up, what they are desiring or what they wanted. But actually, it is not needed. If you are living in a simple village, what is needed? A morsel of food to survive, and piece of cloth to cover, and a little bit of place to as a shelter to sleep. As much as if it is a family, a small hut that is sufficient. I wanted to have wear nice clothes, nice pant, nice dress, nice jewelries, so many desires, and then dying in the hospital. It is we are complicating our thought. Hare Krishna. Okay, any other question? Garinge Mataji, would you like to share any of those things, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Nothing yet, Prabhuji. We're learning every Saturday for Ramachandra, Lord Ramachandra. So we heard a little bit before when we was child. So now you clear everything. Very nice, Prabhuji, this. Also, Ram Katha, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, Usha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Uh, so that's a very nice Prabhu. But that in Kali Yuga, they say if a good king, and then he can change the whole world.
Yes.
Now you can see as so it's very difficult to find a good ruler. Even the country, when the one country has a good ruler, then it will make a big difference. But nowadays, we can see how the country can be run. So many things happening. But yeah,
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, that is true. I was trying to desire and contemplate just how do I enter into the educational system of the country?
Prabhu, in India, one country that, like you said, that there is no meat eating, nothing, and
Yeah.
no, so yeah, just in that we are present, like Jain Palitana something. They have no nothing, no meat eating, nothing, no even eggs.
Yes.
Whole country, Prabhu, whole like a whole village.
Is the country, Mataji?
No, not country, Prabhu, village. In Jain Palitana, there is. Did you heard about that, Prabhu?
Yeah, I know the Jain religion. I
Yeah,
know it is
yeah,
coming from
right.
Rishabhadev.
Yeah, so no, but nobody, like the whole village, it's
Okay,
like a whole
village. Okay, village.
town. Yeah,
Yeah, that is very
there's
nice.
the mountain, Setrunja mountain. Something. Yeah, so it was in the, like you said, there's nobody have eaten meat or nothing. So this is maybe starting. You're gonna slash slowly, so because they believe in ahimsa. No, they don't kill anybody, and even they call sadhvi. I don't know, but they barefoot, they walking, and they don't like to kill any, even the small. And so
Yeah. Yes,
yeah,
Mataji, that is the very perfect village at the town. We must
yes,
that must be expanded throughout the country. I was contemplating we need to produce these Kshatriya children first, train in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is the way of life, leading the life, and then make them enter into the politics, and then how Vaishnavas can become the rulers of the country, so that country can be very peaceful. And also
because
putting,
nobody allowed to even say anything in that time. No eggs, no nothing. So it's
yeah,
gonna be so like that's so nice.
yeah, that must be there, Mataji.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that is a desirable town or village to live in. But here,
Mm.
one thing, they do everything, but their part is at the end just renouncing the and become a Titankara, Digambara, likewise. That
Yeah.
is what their culture is. But they're all uh, kind of a Brahman. They follow the Rishabhadeva. It is not a, it is against the Vedic injunction, though it is following everything nice and good. There, when Sukadeva Goswami was describing the activities of Rishabhadeva in the southern part of the country, so he meant when Rishabhadeva was wandering like a Digambara, and then whatever in the temples, he whatever the in sustenance kind of a Ajagara Vritti. He does not move. Whatever comes, he eats it, and he passes the stool in the same place. Likewise, it is happening, and the king of Venka, the Kong Venka, and something like that. Sukadeva Goswami mentions that king he has put the some messengers to observe the activities of Rishabhadeva, and then after that, this king imitated the activities of Rishabhadeva. Imitation. From that point of time, which is against the Vedic injunctions, without a purificatory thing, we should not imitate. The Sukadeva Goswami describes that one. So I shall show that one. That is where the Jain religion started. And then within that one, there are 13, I think, Tritankaras are there. Uh, Teachings on activities of Rishabhadeva, activities of King Bharat. So here, if we see, Sukadeva Goswami is mentioning that. See, Sukadev, my dear king, the king of Konka Venka and Kotaka, whose name was Arhat, heard the activities of Rishabhadeva and imitating the Rishabhadeva's principles, introduced a new system of religion. Taking advantage of Kali Yuga, the age of sinful activity, King Arhat, being bewildered, gave up Vedic principles, which are free from risk, and concocted a new system of religion opposite to the Vedas. That was beginning of the Jain Dharma. Many other so-called religions followed this atheistic system. But here, though, the statement of Sukadeva Goswami, we clearly understand that though they are not, they're following Ahimso Paramo Dharmo likewise, but it is not connecting to the Vedas. It is a atheistic system. But here it must be Krishna conscious. Krishna must be the center point. We are all desiring to enter into the Vaikuntha planets or Goloka Vrindavan. See, this is Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, chapter 6, verse number 9. The Sukadeva Goswami clearly mentioning that then Jain Dharma is the against the Vedic injunctions.
So, Prabhu, the Jain Dharma is I don't know, Prabhu, that is a Vedic injection. What do you mean, Prabhu? That it's not in.
It is not according to the because the king Arhat, he gave up the Vedic principles which are free from the risk, and he imitated, and by bewilderment, taking advantage of Kali Yuga, the age of sinful act, King Arhat, being bewildered, gave up the Vedic principles which are free, and concocted a new system of religion opposite to the Vedas. See? And within that lineage, this all the Tirthankaras, they come. So if we just go into the verse a little bit detail, it's a very long verse. This is Yasya Kilanucharitam Upakanya Kwanka Venka Kotakanam Raja Arhan Namopasiksya Kalau Adharma Usrikshamane Bhautavyena Vimohitaha Swadharma Patam Akuto Bhayam Apahaya Kupata Pakandam Asamanjasam Nija Manishaya Mandaha Sapravatya Ishyate. So likewise, Sukadeva Goswami is mentioning. This is here, what is it mentioning? Adharma Usrukshayani, because of increasing the religious life. In this is Kalo, in this age of Kali. So that we must make sure, and here Prabhupada is describing in the purport again, further explanations. Whenever Krishna's present time, Paundraka was imitating Krishna with keeping some Shankha Chakra, like that, I am Vasudeva. And he sent a message directly to Krishna through his messenger, and later on Krishna went there and then killed Paundraka with his Sudarshana Chakra. Of course, Krishna took his time to laugh at him. But so here, he introduced system of religion and took advantage of the fallen condition of the people in this age of Kali. It is said in Vedic literatures that people in this age will be more inclined to accept anyone as the Supreme Lord and accept any religious system opposite to the Vedic principles. That's why Mandaha Sumandhamatayo, that is again described. Mandabhagya Upudritaha. Generally, they have no spiritual culture, and therefore they are very fallen. Due to this, they will accept any religious system due to their misfortune. They forget the Vedic principles, following non-Vedic principles in this age. They think themselves the Supreme Lord and thus spread the cult of atheism all over the world. That is atheism. that Sukadeva Goswami is mentioning. It's Jain Dharma is also, but what we can also preach Krishna consciousness to Jain religion as well. That is good. Following that means they're always ready to accept Krishna consciousness. The ground is ready. Their ahimsa is there, no meat eating, but we do not know whether they are intoxication, illicit sex, or gambling, whether they are all there. But ahimsa is there, no meat eating. That is good. We need to also observe other regulative principles, and then they are ready for taking Krishna consciousness. But without that, if they're simply renouncing, in the Bhagavad Gita, moksha sannyasa yoga, at the time Arjuna was asking, is it better to renounce the world, or it is better to engage in our duties? Likewise, when Arjuna was asking what is called sannyasa, then Krishna speaks that one in the 18th chapter beginning. One should not renounce immediately. One has to renounce the indriyardesu vairagyam. He can be just simply perfect a king, but he does not have any tendency to enjoy material opulences. Always in the devotionals. Krishna padanu sevaya. Nispruhaha sarvakamebhyaha. Then he can become a king. And I can be a software engineer or a doctor or lawyer, but I should not be indulging in such kind of abominable sense gratificatory things. One can be situated in any position, but not on the indriya addeshu. And here, if I wanted to simply become non-violent, where does that lead? That is good. Non-violence is good, but we need the higher principle, the perfection of the human life. Going back to the Vaikuntha or Goloka, that is the best thing. Merging into the Brahman life, that is not bad, but that is not good as well. The best thing is enter into the Goloka or Vaikuntha planets to serve the Lord. That is the permanent citizen in the spiritual planets. Not like without any citizenship, if we enter into a country, we would stay until some authorities notice us. But we do not occupy any governmental jobs. Okay, so that is how Prabhupada is explaining, or Sukadeva Goswami is mentioning here. Okay, so hope that. Sorry, Mataji, I took a little bit of time.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much for the explanation. We'll discuss more about the Jain Dharma because I'm getting late to go, so I'm gonna leave Prabhu.
Yes, so I have got one of the colleague in office, so he's from Jain, and then just we follow so many rules, and they're called Titankaras. We have a process renouncing, and then like that, and then say I mentioned that. Do you know one thing? Rishabhadeva, their first Tirthankara is the Rishabhadeva. Rishabhadeva is the son of Ashtame Merudevyam to Nabedjad Urukramaha Darshan Vatmadhiranam Sarvashrama Namaskrutam. He is the eighth incarnation of Krishna, the son of Merudevi and Nabi. And then he mentioned, yes, this is right. Oh, is it? And then he started inquiring about Bhagavatam. And then hearing about Bhagavad Gita and everything else. So people, they do not see the connections. They have to read Bhagavatam. Everything for everything, Krishna is the center point. All the knowledge will be revealed. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Any other questions or sharings? Mrida Sachi Mataji. Okay, so if there are no questions or no sharings, then we shall conclude our session for today. And continue it further, Japa.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Hare Krishna. Conscious day, everyone. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि